Yes, man. Hello, and welcome back after a short hiatus. Welcome back to International. I am your host, Valdez Brooks, of the show where we try to run down and catch and get the stories and experiences and as coaches and one is an official as well. Two very distinct styles in terms of their, I guess, approach and interaction with players that you will see. But Jeffrey is going first and NKU is the second interview. So we have a full show today. Also, they both went Trinity. Well, one went Trinity East and one went Trinity in Mocha. So amongst that, there are other similarities as well. But I will leave it up to you to look into the interview and get a sense of who they are and get to know them. I didn't know Jeffrey before, and NKU is a good friend. So we have the two different kind of interviews going on. With that said, we have some talking points because we didn't see each other for 3 weeks. So what happening or what has happened since last we were together? Let me see. Right, we talk about the missing episodes. Deep Waters of Trinidad and Tobago and the High Seas is a project put on by Species and some other institutions. Species, Dr. Diva Amon, Institute of Marine Affairs, Trinidad and Tobago, and the University of the West Indies in collaboration with some other international research and scientific institutions that have started, actually, by today, have started on the 29th of June, the exploration of the deep sea environment in the waters around Trinidad and Tobago. Real exciting stuff. We were trying to get on to Dr. Amon and the team, but by the time that ship reached, the vessel being the Schmidt Ocean Institute's research vessel Falcor 2, by the time that thing reached, everybody's head was hot and we couldn't get a hold of them. But hopefully we get in touch with them, we catch up with them at the end of the program. Well, not the program, but the end of their expedition, and get some news and some results and go through the process of putting that whole thing together. It's very exciting, actually. I'm watching it now. If you see, look at any corner, right? So what else? We have a TikTok page. Hopefully from this week, we're looking to put up some behind the scenes kind of content, some more locally oriented content, and some short reels and stuff like that. Not only to guide people and send them to the YouTube page, but there are some people that I want to talk to that are not directly encompassed in the scope of this show, but definitely have an impact on what we do here and the kind of persona that we try to interact with on the show. I promise you it's going to make sense, right? So look out for that. Like I say, from sometime this week, I don't know, tomorrow, maybe Monday to be safe, some content will start going up on that, and we'll have a conversation in the comments and things like we love to do. So that's pretty much what I want to talk about for what happened within the last 3 weeks and ongoing. I didn't say the Deep Wonders of Trinidad and Tobago High Seas project is going on from the 29th of June, which was 2 days ago, to the 28th of July. So, it's a lot of time and it's very exciting stuff. So, let me see what else. So, in coming up now, or ongoing, I should say ongoing, World Cup 2026 is fully underway. We're in the knockout stage now, and people enjoying themselves. And so far, some people's favorite teams have gone home. So whoever you're rooting for, I mean, I have no favorite. I ain't following the tournament this year per se. But, enjoying a game here or there in between. Whoever you're supporting, all the best to you. If your team lost, hard luck, try again next time. But as we talking about sports, as I said, we have two coaches on the show this week, and it's World Cup season. But we have some sports coming up. So we have Team TTO, which is Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Organization. We have 2 sets of games. Remember when we had Miss Diane Henderson from the Olympic Committee, from the organizing committee for Olympics, she was saying that, there's difference between games, meets, and, the intricacies with the federations and different sport disciplines and all of that. So go back and check that so you know the rules, right? When we say games, what we talking about when we mean games. So 2 games coming up in July into August. The first being, let me see, which is that the first? No, which one starting first? July 23rd. July 23rd to August 2nd, we have the Commonwealth Games playing in Glasgow, Scotland. And from the 24th of July to August 8th, we have the 25th Dominican Republic Games playing in Santo Domingo. I think it's the other way around. I think it's Santo Domingo Games is the name of it, playing in the Dominican Republic. So good luck to the team or teams that will be going out to these games representing the red, white, and black. Hopefully, we touch base with 1 or 2 of them and get some interesting conversations and preparations from the teams into those games. Yeah, wish them all the best, health, focus, and success. And hope we bring back some medal. We like to see the medals on them. But we also have to do the work and the preparation that will make those expectations real, right? So, and especially one of the coaches in the show today went into that very passionately, which I appreciate, and made some good suggestions as far as the organizing of sport and how to make it actually profitable and successful. So I look forward to sharing that with all you. And without further ado, let's get on with the show. Let's go. Yes, man. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday. Well, by now you know it's not Wednesday. By now you know it's not Wednesday. It's virtually Wednesday. It's actually Saturday. And let me get some timestamps going. I like to do this, I like to let all you know what's going on. Right. So it's Saturday morning. When man should be sleeping from a nice little lime Friday night that we had to forego to get this interview done. So let me see. Time in Port of Spain, 20 past 10 a.m. London, 20 past 3 p.m. Yeah. London is afternoon now, right? Vienna, Austria, where we're qualifying for Formula One is currently underway. Right now the studio like Starship Enterprises, only screens all over the place. I think Kimmy on top as we speak. We have some World Cup games going on start later on in the afternoon. Kampala, Uganda is at 5:22 thereabouts, and Tokyo, Japan is 11:22 p.m. Right? So the world is spinning, and we're going to we leave in Port of Spain now, and we head into and I like this one. We head into Trinbagonians. if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I will explain. Well, the man will explain. We have joining us today somebody who is a stranger to me. I like these interviews, the people that I really don't know. So I will be learning and getting to know this person the same time as you're watching this, right? We have Jeffrey Harris here, waiting in the wings to join us, right? So he is a basketball coach, well, previously player, now coach, based in Minneapolis. A man he knock about, boy. When I was doing my little research, I mean, we scrape up this interview. I only get to talk to him yesterday, and he agreed graciously to join us today. So we here. So when I doing the research and thing, I say, well, how I never hear about this man, boy? This man knock about doing a lot of good work. From what I've gathered so far, the man has a real serious drive and a real focused way of doing things, right? I see in a quote he has here: if you ignore your purpose in life, you will be poor. Find it, own it, and work that gift until you die. Now, if that if that is not a motto for dedication and focus and discipline, I don't know what is. But like I say, we have him in the wings here, so I'm bringing him on. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, countrymen and friends, we welcome in Jeffrey Harris to Inter National. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. First off, thank you for having me. Appreciate the invite. You know, you catch me at a good time before I get busy, so.
Right, yeah. So that's the thing, right? So I know coaches have, the early mornings and the preparation, especially on the weekends. You might have a little tournament or something going on. So
and family.
And family. Not to forget family, right? So yeah, I should have mentioned that. I noticed you're very family oriented. Very much a family man, yeah. So yeah, boy. I was well. We all know by now. If you haven't heard, Trinidad has recently a drafted player in the NBA, and well, while I do like to run down trends or anything, that is somebody and something to be celebrated for sure, right? And definitely in the interest of this show, that those are the kind of people that we want to highlight and speak to, and get a story and the background and that kind of stuff. So so I was looking around to see if I get onto the youth, and Malik Lewis is who we're talking about, drafted to the Milwaukee Bucks. That's right?
He was drafted to Wizards and
then traded to the Bucks. Yeah, I realized that's how the thing went. So so in looking around, trying to get onto him, I managed to come across your profile because you're close with him as I saw, right? And I was like, and I made me think. I say, but when somebody achieves success like this in sports, in academia, in most things, it's not all the time. Most of the time, it's not individual effort, right? You always have people behind you, whether it's your family, teachers, and coaches. And this is a show. When we're talking to people, I like to ask them about the teachers, right? I like to big up teachers because I had good teachers, I think, and a lot of them meant a lot to me, right? And naturally taught you a lot, the teachers, right? But coaches definitely help you along the way. They are usually people who see things in you that just need grooming and encouragement, and these people are trained in bringing out talent, right? So I was like, I know the boy, I know Malik will be busy, right? Naturally. So let me see if I could pivot and that is a basketball. We might have some puns, right? So let me see if I could pivot this thing while we're not, taking away from his achievements and success thus far. Let me look at a different side of the whole success and the whole process in this basketball field, as it will. So I say, let me talk to this man because, well, you know him, and from when I scroll through, just scrolling through your Instagram, I say, but wait, but this man definitely from Trinidad, and well established in the states, and is a well established coach as well. So I say, nah, boy, I had to talk to this man. This is something I can't let pass. So I was when I messaged you, I was glad that you say, yeah, let me do it tomorrow. And here we are. So let me get a sense of the man. So where you from in Trinidad? Where your beginnings? Where you grew up? School and that kind of stuff.
I was born and raised in Sandy Grande, Trinidad and Tobago.
Ah, boy, Grandy East
Right?
Side.
Grande. My upbringings was very unique, I will say, but very loving. Grew up in a home. 21 at one time. That 21 of us growing up in this home. With my grandmother was the head of the home.
Right.
I grew up with aunts and uncles, and I was the second child of four. I my dad was inspector of police.
Ah, okay.
My mom was a supervisor at genetics pharmaceutical at that time. My grandmother was and still is my super role model. She
Right.
was a principal and also a teacher and principal, maybe up to like about 45 years. So she was doing it a very long time, very active in the church, very active in the community, ran carnival in the community. She did a lot of girl guides, traveling, and she was a superhero for me. And I, as my basketball continued, for my love for sports, so my competitive edge started at home. Growing up, being a young man amongst all your older cousins and stuff, it was always a lot of pushing and tugging, very competitive in everything we do. I would lose a lot, and by losing a lot, I started developing a drive to wanting to win all the time. And with that drive and that competitive edge that I was, had no idea about at that time, only now looking back, I could understand how the development went. I started I before I even focus on basketball, everybody go start playing football, cricket, other sports during that time around my age 10, 11, 12. Even though I started playing at 9, the game itself at 9, but I start focusing on the craft more maybe around age, I will say 13, 14. I went to school. My primary school was St. Francis RC School. From St. Francis RC School in Sandy Grande, I went for Valencia High School for 5 years and played a lot of sports. And then I was invited to with Richard Mongo in Sandy Grande for Sandy Grande All Stars. So I started going his practice. And with that, when Richard Mongo reached out, I was playing before, in my yard and stuff, playing around the craft a little bit. And then I say, hey, let me go and check out Richard Mongo. Richard Mongo have great history too when it comes to Sandy Grande and what he done for Sandy Grande. He's a good friend of my father too, and we trusted him at that time to start learning the game. So I started learning the game at Sandy Grande Junior Sec Auditorium where they had all the basketball practice, and immediately from there you recognize that my trajectory was a little faster than the others at that time. How to learn the craft and the instincts and all of that. I went to the national practice. I got through. I got selected for the national team. For the U16 national team, and so I started venturing into Port of Spain a lot because of practice at Tagarigua. So I started exploring more, and from there my focus become basketball. Got connected with Barry Stewart from Barry Stewart Basketball Academy. So I left Sangre Grande and start playing for Barry Stewart Basketball Academy and Stray Connects at a very young age. We traveled with the U60 national team. At that time the national coach was Wesley Gomes. He was a member of the defense force, and our assistant coach was Tanis. So my basketball is years of even. I was also part of the history of the basketball in Trinidad because when last we mentioned Wesley Gomes as such great work he did in Trinidad too, together with Tanis, and also the longevity of the Defense Force basketball program was amazing, which challenged every other program at that time to raise their standard. So with that constant journey back and forth to Port of Spain from Valencia. We played for Valencia. I played for Valencia High School, had some records and stuff there. And also I got my education and I got my 5 subjects in Valencia. And then I moved I then moved Trinity College East had reached out to me and asked me if I want to play for them. So I went there for 1 year. From Valencia, I went in a Trinity College for 1 year. Continue the craft, continue working with the craft, playing with the craft. Tried out, had a tryout for, the UTT team. So University of Trinidad and Tobago had just launched their high performance athlete program, scholarship program, and had a tryout there. So I went the tryout. this part is interesting. So I went the tryout, and the coach had Terry Layton. That was the coach who did the trial. Terry Layton had mistaken someone else for me and selected that person over me. Right. And it was a very sad moment for me. Crying, parents trying to console me, all these different things. And all the other players there was like, listen, you have to select this person. You made a mistake. He didn't believe until he said, okay, when next I had a game. So we had a championship game. Strictness had a championship game, I think the Saturday after the tryouts. And everybody was like, the coach commented to come and watch the game because he didn't believe he make a mistake and you had to prove him wrong. I said, I already proved him wrong. I had to prove him wrong again. So he come to the game, and being competitive as I am, I love to please, love to prove people wrong. I think I went off for about 40 points that game. And we win the championship too, you know. So we win the championship, that got selected. So he come and apologize to me openly. He said, Mr. Jeffrey Harris, I apologize, for the error that I made during the tryouts. And, I want to, offer you the opportunity again. So my journey started with UTT and started going uphill from there. Did a lot of great things in UTT. I played for UTT for 8 years. I think I'm the longest playing basketball athlete for UTT. Also, during that time was Terry Layton. The assistant coach was James Gostomski. And after that, Lenny Guy took over. Lenny Guy was also assistant coach. Lenny Guy took over the program after Terry Layton, tenure with the program. And after Lenny Guy was presently Stephon Dillon, which is AKA Star. He's right now the head coach for the high performance UTT basketball team. And I played through all of those coaches. I also played under Stephon Dillon to when he just started. And the nice thing about Stephon Dillon was he wasn't selected on the team first. He came in as a walk-on the UTT team, Stephon Dillon, and I love playing the game, so I continued playing. Even though when he left, he graduated and become the coach, and he came back and even come and coach the team while I was still, assisting the team to grow. And even though I had graduated and had my degree, I was still playing for UTT, as a walk-on with continuous practice, and I just enjoyed that type of practice. So he was there. And from there, when I started teaching, is that when I stepped away from UTT and I returned to Stray Connects, playing with Stray Connects. And on my return to play with Stray Connects, we come and win. We went unbeaten. We did great things in Stray Connects also. Yeah. Yes, that was the 17-0 season, and Very nice journey, very nice. This is amazing for all that time. So when I started, first I started teaching. I started teaching in 2014 when I had graduate, and I started teaching at Ishi's Learning Center. Ishi's Learning Center is Port of Spain, 105 Arapita, 105 Ariapita Avenue. That is a special education school. Amazing. They started my career in teaching. It was a private school while I was waiting for the Ministry of Education to contact me. So I was there for approximately a year and 6 months teaching. Amazing school. I love the community. I love the people there, the teachers, and I built so much, lessons in that time. Having a young mind going into that type of atmosphere, special education for 2 years, it helped me to understand children even more because a special school, and it was school for children with special needs, and I was doing the adapted physical education there and life skills. And being, the commute, and I was living in Gasparilla at that time, San Fernando. So, because my wife is from Gasparilla, so I ended up moving to Gasparilla during that time because it was easier for work and everything instead of being Sandy Grande. And after the 2 years, the Ministry of Education contact me and offer me the position in Pleasantville Secondary School. And I say that was amazing because now Pleasantville is like about 10 minutes away from where I was living in Gasparilla. And I said, perfect, yes, I will take the position. And I joined, Keenan Kukaram and Julian Huggins as PE teachers at Pleasantville Secondary School. So that started in 2016. So March 2016, I started teaching at Pleasantville Secondary School. And, still was playing basketball, heavily playing basketball. During that time, started a foundation called BD Change Movement. BD Change Movement was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. That was the inspiration, and also made yeah be the change you want to see in the world. So started helping a lot of people, charity work, and then I was like, yes, I'm doing all these different things, but I think I keep missing my true passion, and I think I should try to put everything into one thing, which was true basketball and sports and education. So I started refocusing my mind to just focus on the craft and helping young people use the tool of basketball and sport to help young people develop and use it as which it is. That is how it's designed. It's a discipline. It fall under a category of discipline and entertainment, sports. So I started playing around with words when it comes to like what can I name my basketball program. I want to start it here in Pleasantville Secondary School. Talking to different people, even little athletes around who know I was playing. Okay, why I want to be my coach differently, start asking around. So I say, okay, I'm gonna start a basketball program in the school, and the first name I named the basketball program was, I didn't even name it yet. The WhatsApp group I created was Obsession. Because I know because of my journey and what it takes, to actually be amazing in whatever you choose to do in this life, you have to be obsessed with it. You had to be it had to be a craving in your mind that nothing could come between me and this. Even though yes, I have family and all of that, but this one thing trumps everything. This God and health trumps everything. If it wasn't for this, I can't support my family. Because you can't support a family without money and without a drive and a passion. So yes, people will say, I'll put my family first. How you put your family first, and you have to put yourself first and your craft because you have to take care of the family with something, right? So, and the first 5 students who was part of that program at that in 2015, 2016, really started 2016 when I started was Malik Lewis, Zion Nicholas, Israel Nicholas, Jamal James, and Javan Atek. Those are the 5 young boys from around Pleasantville and San Fernando who was part of that beginning of now, which was then and now Hoop Nation Basketball Academy. Yeah. Yeah, so Hoop Nation came in 2016, and it is and will always be, something to talk about. As you see, Hoop Nation, you know. Yeah, sure. Right. So I I graduated, but the subjects I have, the 6 subjects I have, I always, based on when I review the programs and stuff, um, the first program I did was for me to qualify to get into teaching, because I've looked futuristic, like, okay, in this market of Trinidad and Tobago, what is the field I could get into immediately after school,
Right.
and I want the longevity of the field, and how where do I see myself and my talent and my passion, which is the best field for me to be part of based on my drive and what I love to do, and I think was teaching, physical education, right? Because after observing my secondary school teacher, Mr. Kevin Campbell, I always wanted to be a PE teacher, meaning I could come to school with sneakers on, with my Nikes on, track pants. I
So,
always,
and generally the PE teacher is always the coolest teacher. Eh?
yeah. I always wanted to be a PE teacher and to be around sports. I see myself, I want to always be around sports. I love the
Right.
energy of sport. I love the atmosphere, the music, the vibes, I love it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be a PE teacher. So they was offering a program, uh, sports studies, a certificate in sports studies, which is really a diploma because of the context and the curriculum and the syllabus of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It falls under the category of a diploma, and that was the entry point to me to get in my to started my bachelor's in education with a major in physical education.
Okay.
So I took that route, spent 5 years in UTT, ensuring that I got a graduated with honors degree in bachelor's in education with a major in physical education.
Excellent.
So that was my field of study.
And
Yeah.
so you went into that with the intention to come out to teach,
Yes.
and
Yes.
from there into a school for children with special needs.
Yeah, because while I was waiting, so when I finished my degree, I applied to the Ministry of Education, and while I was waiting to be called, to be offered a position, um, a good friend of mine, Denise from Maloney, played basketball for Maloney Pacers. She was working at that school, and I had spoken to her, and she just said, "Hey, we have a position for PE." I think she had reached out to me, or I reached out. I can't remember how the conversation went. And she said, "Come on," I was interviewed there. And while I was waiting for, for the Ministry of Education to contact me, I was teaching at Ishi's Learning Center for a year and about 6 months.
So, all right. So, what I want to get at why I went back to UTT,
Yeah.
was when you moved from a student to teaching special needs students.
Mhm.
How were you prepared to engage in that side of education
Very,
from the course that is specifically?
part of the UTT, one of the courses we did was when it comes to mental illness and stuff like that, that they taught us,
Yeah.
right? And we also had a course, I think, which helped us with adaptive physical education to how to, because in teaching you have to cater for all students.
Yeah.
It's not a particular group of students that you have to cater for.
Yeah.
You have to be able to understand that every child learns differently with different speeds, and they have different needs, and even they have different style of learning. So right, they have different style. They have different, like, for example, the Howard Gardner, terrorist mentioned. They have multiple intelligence, who learn by music, who learn by hearing, who learn by seeing, who learn by
visual,
doing,
yeah, yeah.
who learn by repetition. So different way the mind, absorb information, and use the bridge to know, okay, I have to observe this student, I have to be aware of how the student learn, and I have to adapt my program and the curriculum and the delivery, so I could get the student to understand and how now, and then teach them how to apply it in a real life situation.
Yeah.
You know,
Also,
so yeah,
as you mentioned, real life situation. The
yeah.
question when you were saying that, the question that I wanna ask is how, or did you at any point during that experience have to explain the differences in learning, the differences in aptitude, attention, and those kinds of things to parents?
The staff at Issues Learning Center was extremely qualified in what they do.
Right.
So the families would, could have closed their eye and trust the staff to deliver. And the school have a history of success. You know, so it comes with saying some parents were naive because of the emotionally, natural emotional attachment to your own child. And they mightn't understand what the child, is going through, or the mental development in the mental stage. And that is where, you'll have to have a meeting with the family or the parents that explain to them, okay, this is the symptom, this is the signs, and they will have to do like a psychiatric evaluation. So they will go with a doctor to do a psychiatric evaluation, and based on the Q&A, the questions and answer, based on the response, the results and stuff like that, it would then project you to know, okay, this is what's happening with the child, and this is the approach, this is who you should recommend to go to, and stuff like that. So there's a process that you take. I'm in Minnesota now, and when I compare the educational system from what I have done for 9 years in Trinidad, and now that I'm here, I will. There's pros and cons to both of them, but I love the approach of Trinidad because they get it from Europe. That's the European approach. They got from England because it's have the same approach when in primary and secondary school, and the open up the student mind to all for the first 3 years in secondary school. Like they have the open curriculum up to 14 subjects that the student have to go through and study for that 3 years, and then the student then branch off for the last 2 years of secondary school, Form 4 and Form 5, to specialize in a group of studies. And also the fact that in capitalist America, there are certain part of the school system where teachers have to sell their subject. They have electives, and if nobody select your subject, you could lose your job. So you have to kind of sell your subject still as a credit format, and it's more university level approach that it took in second in high school here, right? So it has its pros and cons, and I experienced both of them. So
Think you could definitely see, somewhat of an advantage as far as academics and preparation goes. Definitely primary
yes,
and
for sure,
secondary age.
for sure.
So
The
you work your coaching is private, or is it embedded in the school system? You
well,
teach
presently,
a high school right now?
presently,
Yeah.
presently, it's embedded through the high school system. Because as a high school coach, in Minnesota rules is I could only coach in season. So which season is that? November to March, and then out of season there's a window between June the 1st to the end of July. We can coach our own athletes. Outside of that, I can't coach the athletes of the high school. I could coach middle school athletes and athletes of other schools, but I can't coach my own athletes in the high school. So I think they're just trying to make it, even across the board, because if there are certain pockets of communities here in Minnesota that have very good coaches who was in the NBA, who was top trainers, who was in Europe, and who fall under my category of coaching, very high level, where certain communities don't have that, so they will always be at a disadvantage. So to avoid that kind of breakdown or big vast difference when it comes to playing. I think it's just a rule to make sure it's even and equal across the board.
I could understand that. But here what's going on. Let's take a little break, and we'll come back. I want to talk about where basketball has taken you in
For
your
sure.
career, right? So we'll be back in a flash earlier.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Yes, man, we're back. We're back with
Yep.
Jeffrey Harris here. I'm gonna make sure, right, man still with us.
Mhm.
So hey, I didn't mention this for the viewers. All you like that team music, right? I like it too. Every time it play, it's be pop in my head. But big up to the producer that my partner Bedawi Asing of Detonator. That was something we put together for a project that just happened to fall into this project. And I really appreciate your contribution. And I'm saying that because yesterday was his birthday. So happy birthday, Bidawi. You're hitting some numbers, eh? Make sure and sap your knee and thing. Right. So we we back with Jeffrey here. And I want to talk to you about where basketball has taken you physically, like where you travel to, because in going through your social media and stuff here, I see pictures with all you in a big team in the airport heading out to different places. So, and I know you would have coached in different countries as well. So
Yeah.
so let us know where the craft, as you call it, has taken you.
It wow, good question. I think it comes with mental development. I think the sport, as we continue to focus on 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 the sport and the craft, and zoning, you start seeing the different layers of the potential of where it can take you. And by just trusting the journey, continue to coaching at Pleasantville, and started with Hoop Nation Academy, where I really zone in on coaching and understanding youth development. And due to my connection I had built during my time at the national team, to a person by the name of Kyle Rowley. He also a Trinidadian who played international, who went through the US system, was drafted as 7-footer, and they was attached to a program in Europe, right? And he wanted coaches from the Caribbean too, and he from Trinidad and Tobago. And myself was selected for that. Myself and Joel Hines. Right now, he's presently a member of the TTPS. Joel Hines. We were selected to join that panel of coaches from the US to coach in France under Frenchy Associates. And with doing that, because it started within the direction where we are today. So now I was selected there. I started coaching, and with not only my coaching ability, I infused teaching, because coaching is coaching and teaching slightly different. Because teaching to me is you have to be more of a parent. You have to be you're more guided. But as a coach, I could be more aggressive. I could be more my true self. you know, you know. So we start coaching, and I start putting together programs now. So with my ability to coach and teach the craft differently, because I didn't teach the craft like traditionally. I was using failure as the way how I teach. So I actually want you to fail more, and that was my opportunity to coach you. Because if you keep scoring a basket, you might think I don't need teaching. But if I put you in positions through practice and stuff, and you keep missing, and you're not getting it right, and you keep missing, now I could coach you. So it's a different approach to coaching I use. I use a different approach. It could be some athletes like it, some athletes don't, but it proved to be successful when it comes to developing young minds. Because I believe, teenagers need for them to stay on track. They need a lot of pressure. You know, I, People say gentle parenting. I don't believe in gentle parenting. I could only be gentle with you when you prove to me that you could do the right thing over and over and over again. So I'm not going to be gentle with you. I need you to understand what I'm teaching you fast, quickly. The faster you could learn, the faster you could move on. So I take that approach to Europe, and they realized that the students was responding faster. They was understanding. They wanted to be attached to me more. So they asked me to start, running the programs and creating different programs. And then I was selected to a bigger camp in France that same year. I was selected to be at a two weeks living camp. When it comes to we housing athletes, they have different systems in place, arenas, professional setting, professional rehab, all of that. And I was the person, I was the coach who was creating the day-by-day runnings of the camps and stuff like that, creating. And because of that type of mindset and approach to the craft, and I realized that no, this person really know what he's doing. I was selected again for Italy and Switzerland. So I also coach in Italy and Switzerland and France. So we will coach during the week in Toulouse, in Grenoble, and in Perpignan, and these different places. And on Thursday we will have to play. We will play one of the best teams in that city, and bring out a lot of people, all the fans coming out, just autographs and playing, and it was a lot of fun for about 2 months to 3 months. Came back home in Trinidad, tried to deliver what I learned, all this knowledge and stuff I have. I want to do it in Trinidad here in Pleasantville. So Pleasantville Auditorium, I transformed the entire auditorium into a full basketball court. On my knees painting Pleasantville Auditorium, to get something for these youth, because I seen it. I seen the power of it. I feeling it. I believe in it. I believe in sport, and that's something we should talk about too before the end of the interview. That what Trinidad needs, what Trinidad and Tobago needs. We'll get to that too. So when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, it's a huge, gap that is missing. So we have the wealthy because of the businesses and the people who run businesses and the corporate side of it that generated most of the money and connected to all these politics and stuff that's happening. And then we have the lower class. All right. The gap between which they consider to have the middle class, they don't have enough opportunities. So we having a breakdown when it comes to, but they're making all the money, and it not trickling down to in the bottom here, and we struggling. It's a dog fight, crab in a bucket syndrome. We on survival. It have a lot of wasted ambition in Trinidad and Tobago. Wasted ambition, because for you to pick up a gun, rent a house, rob somebody, that is ambition. For you to have a gun and try to rob that is ambition that is being wasted, and that ambition comes from a window of time that is unsupervised, which is between the hours of 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. School over between a lot of schools over between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. And parents get home. An average parent who's a working 9 to 5 parent maybe get home between 6, 7, 8 o'clock. So now the child had time away from discipline. There is no discipline happening between that window of time. And now we have ambition and energy kicked in at the same time. I looking for a place to ramp and enjoy myself and play. I go on the corner. Mommy no home, big brother no day. Now I go and check my boys on the corner. And now you start developing a love for that type of activity, which is crime. You understand? And we are missing that. You see that window of time? That is the key window that continue to destroy Trinidad inside out. We need to fill that window of time. And how we can fill that window of time, that is where culture and the arts and sport come in. And it's bigger than you and I. Because for you to get the granny who is 90-year old to come out and support, is because the granny played sport when she was younger. So she understands and she will be there. So we're not having that window. And as I say, sport, culture, and the arts is one entertainment avenue that has not been exploited. There's so much opportunities when it comes to sport, culture, and the arts that is being missed and not being filled in Trinidad and Tobago. It is unbelievable, right? And I have been talking to whoever I could talk to, trying to get in position, trying to get into the Ministry of Education to understand that sport is the only, and they could fight on this, but it is true, factual. Sport is the only avenue under entertainment that provides employment for everybody. Because it's not only athletes we're looking at. We're looking at the people who print the uniform. We're looking at people like you who does podcasts and who want to talk about these things. We're looking at journalists. We're looking at people who camera footage, who doing all the different camera work for highlights. We're looking at the food and nutrition. We're looking at Tanti Yulin who on the corner selling by she shocked she could make her money from the event. We're looking at the halftime show. We're looking at Steel Orchestra being a halftime show presentation, and that comes from the school system. Any child under the age of 18 years old has to be in school. So you have to access your human resource through the education system. But the issue is you cannot tell a PE teacher to volunteer his time. You can't tell an English teacher to volunteer the time after school. I have this, I can tell you no. That is not my job. And out of the 769 schools in Trinidad, the PE teacher are telling you no. So we have no culture and arts happening after that time in some of the places, and we have no sports happening. So we have wasted ambition. We have wasted ambition in that time, that pocket of time, over and over, and destroying Trinidad and Tobago. So if I don't know how far this interview can go, who's gonna reach, who's gonna view it. I don't know who you, I don't know who, yeah. I don't know who you know, but I plead in the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Sport might have chipped in on this. You to save this, to curb crime in Trinidad. You have to open up. This is my suggestion to it. Other people might have different ideas and they think it's too hard to do. Every secondary school in Trinidad and Tobago, you open up a new position, which is an athletic director in schools, which is responsible for all those events. And then from those positions and those events, you now could now have all the steel orchestra, all your dance team, all your cheerleading team. You have a journal, you're working in your human resource through the school, because your school is really a factory. Your school is a factory of humans getting ready to go now and build Trinidad and Tobago, or build whatever country you're in. And if your school system is not seen as that, we're wasting time. We're wasting time.
Well, you heard it. You heard it here. You heard it here. Yeah. The crime plan, according to Jeffrey Harris. But I was while you were saying that, and I never thought about it. But you're right. That time pocket between 3 and 7 is where a lot of young people are left to their own devices, and if you're not in a lessons class or doing something constructive, then the only, and especially now with all these devices and influences that come from cyberspace, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for
Yeah.
young people to be led astray.
And the money will circulate. The money will circulate. People have an opportunity. Now, I have all this skill, but I don't know where to use it. I can't, there's nothing for me to, but if you have all 700 and something schools firing with sports and culture and the arts, everybody has something to do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If we look at somewhere not even too far as Jamaica and
Hmm.
the athletics program that they have and the support that they get from communities and
Yeah.
and businesses, is so much of it is because people know that their child doing something
Yeah.
constructive, and they have been
Yeah.
training, and they have these
And all the
programs in the
business
school that
people now
rolling out.
will want to
Yeah,
invest. That is how it
exactly.
works.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
business people now will have a something to build on. I could use this team. I could invest in this team. This team could help advertising, and we approaching Trinidad and Tobago should learn from the capitalist world of how to make money. Trinidad do not know how to make money for themselves. Trinidad and Tobago is lacking the intelligence of how to make money for their own. They're raising taxes, they're increasing this, they're increasing money, but they're not. What is your product other than oil and gas? How are you developing your human resource to sustain your own economic fault? You're not helping. What are you really doing for the people of Trinidad and Tobago? What the government of Trinidad and Tobago really doing when it comes to developing the human resource? You know, they have a huge brain drain. Everybody who's trying to get development sense, they leave in Trinidad. They leave in. You want the people to stay and assist and build the community and have and really consider your home other than Carnival. So sport, I believe sport is extremely important, and that is what it builds the United States. Sport. Sport is sport. All majority of the business in the US is based around sport. So hopefully it will not fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, well, we're trying to work behind the scenes, and establish some relationships with people and institutions that may be able to that should be able
Go to the
to
head of the
to
snake. All of that can won't say nothing until they approve it from the top.
well, listen, it's only so much we could do from where we are, and
True.
the first step is talking to the people, with
Yeah.
the ideas and the experience and the exposure. People like
Yeah.
yourself, who would have come from the grandee, who sit down in the maxi and fall asleep in the maxi,
Woo!
going to
Them days, boy, them
understand?
days.
Going to and from games, and you have the background and the dedication and the experience because you went through it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you have the discipline now, it built in you. Yeah, these are the people that have the ideas that will, lead to be the change that you want to see in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
So everything, if we talking about it, all the solutions, all kind of already there. They're kind of in your face. It's just somebody was saying. I was watching an interview sometime this week, and somebody was saying, what really missing is the will to do the things, the ideas. The ideas are already there. The ideas already exist. The people who would come on board and direct it already exist. It's just the will to put these people in the
What?
places.
But behind the will, but behind the will, you have to pay the people. Don't ask me to volunteer. I have a family that I can use that money. I could go and work and make money to provide for my family. How can I? How can we use that will? How can we continue to motivate the will? Yeah, I am willing to do it, but I could make money during this time. They always talk about Trinidad like too much are free. Why you asking people for free? Everything is free. You have to pay the people. Find creative ways to pay the people how they don't know how they don't have financial literacy when it comes to how to use money. assets and liabilities and how to create systems so people to always have an influx and flow of money. People are motivated by money. Okay, you're telling me to come, but how much? If as you say, okay, during your time, you come and coach or you come and teach dance lessons for 3 times a week, you're getting a salary of $150 per day. No, I could hold you accountable. No, I could hold you accountable because you're getting paid for this time. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. You're getting paid for this time. But if a person is volunteering, I have the power as a person who volunteered my time to tell you no, and your whole program could break down.
And the thing is, there was a lot of money involved. And where the money gone? So
Mismanagement.
So we're not saying that the money doesn't exist, that the resources don't exist. I mean,
not in the right person's hand.
Well, that is for another kind of show. But we build stadiums, and we host games, and we have things, and millions of dollars went into programs, and whole companies were created. And
but the system behind it is
what is the result of those things? Yeah.
The system, you have it. We have the venues, we have the schools, we have the auditoriums, we have the big fields and stuff there.
Real thing.
They do not know how to use it. They do not know how to use it. If you, as a government, want to run all these stadiums and you're not making, you're losing, you're operating in a deficit. Because you have to pay for all this electricity bill. You have to pay to the security to maintain it, maintenance. How can I make money from this that I built here to cover that cost and still make a profit? How do you do it? You lease it. You lease it to a private company who they now can run it how they want. That is how they do it up here. So this is Hopkins High School, but Hopkins High School is also a community school. Now the community used it after a certain time, and they could rent it out and make money and all these different things, so they could pay for whatever fees they have. But if you as the government want to pass through Ministry of Sport or sports company, and we have to go through this long protocol red tape, your people can't pay for that. So they don't know how to use it to make money. They don't know how to use it to make money. And they prefer to steal the money, so anyhow. Let me stick to the point now.
Like I say,
there's
a whole other channel of conversation.
I don't want to get no feelings.
Yeah. I mean, no, all right. I'll level with you because we don't know each other, right?
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, But the purpose of and I don't want to cut you or anything like that.
No, that's okay. I think we should refocus.
The purpose of the show is to get the views out, get the ideas out as well.
Right.
So we're not straying away from what you want to say. I mean, by all means, if those are your views, we're not politically aligned here in any way.
No.
I'm just saying that the topic is something that we could get lost in, because in the immediate environment is something that is very frustrating. And if we allow that frustration to guide the conversation, then we're going away from solutions.
Yeah.
I love the dynamic you bring up there, because I didn't really think about that 3 to 7. That 3 to 7 is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm sure there's scientific, there must be a study somewhere that supports that. I mean, we don't really need no study. You could walk in town between 3 and 7 and you will see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You will see the waywardness, you will see the lack of focus, the lack of direction. The youths have nothing to do.
Yeah, they have nothing.
They have nothing to do.
Nothing.
So,
And again, not to cut you off, and your crime plan is to bring in more, let me get more police, let me get SOE, moving on,
Exactly. So,
moving on.
well, my personal thing is we don't need. This is probably the first time I'm saying it out loud, but we don't need more police. We don't need more prisons. We don't need better prisons. We don't need more guns in the country. We need less criminals. We need less people.
And how to do
We
that?
need less people
Yeah,
exposed to
help.
criminal activity.
Yeah, you develop your human resource. The biggest question is how can I help my human resource?
Yeah, yeah,
What systems and programs can I put in place
yeah,
to develop my human resource?
yeah,
Take care of your people. Take care of the people. There's 1.4 million people. Small island, amazing, loved by the world. How can I take care of my people and my culture?
yeah.
You know?
Agreed, agreed. We definitely on the same page, but
Yeah,
we
for sure.
I want to come back and talk about and you see you're saying things right, and I seeing the pieces that that stood out to me while I was digging up on your background and in social media here. So I want to come back and talk. We'll talk about the capitalism and the business sense and the focus on building your own resources and being self-sufficient, because we're going and talk about Trinianapolis when we come back.
Minneapolis.
Triniapolis.
Yeah.
So we coming back in a bit.
Okay.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project? Or a family member are raising funds for much needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Nice, and we're back. We have Jeffrey Harris here with us. We talking the things, the man, the man ain't holding back. Very opinionated. Like I say, you can't have the discipline and the focus and the direction without the honesty. And you also mentioned the aggressive nature of the coaching, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate your openness and your frankness about what you think, because that is something. These are things that we have to discuss, and quite frankly, things that had to change, right? So but moving on from that, not so much, but focusing on the capitalist slant that you have, right? Talk to me about Triniapolis.
So Minneapolis, there are a couple of Trinidadians in Minnesota that we have a very unique story. We all went to the same high school in Trinidad, which is Trinity College East, you know. So there's Jamal Clark, Jean Paul Frederick, aka JP,
Right.
Isaiah Frederick, aka Freddie, and myself, Jeffrey Harris. Right? So four of us is also teachers and educators at Hopkins School District. So 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 how it happened was I in Trinidad, just had my son. My wife and I say, girl, I said, let me take, you go to a party now. So we leaving the party now. We leaving the party in Trinidad, right? So only to see JP and Freddie enter the party at the same time. After I haven't seen these boys maybe over 13, 14 years, right? And during that time was me had enough of Trinidad. I wanted to do more. I wanted to use my brain to do more. I said, all this knowledge, I want to do more, but I reach a cap that I can't go beyond in Trinidad no more. My academy, I was like, I want to, So with the ambition and the fire inside to do more and express myself more, I was applying internationally in different places to see, how can I get employment internationally? Because I'm coming back from Europe, qualified in so much in when it comes to basketball, but the system and basketball and the NBFTT and all of that, I kind of part ways because there's a certain standard that I wanted to be a part of and it continued to fail me. And I didn't like it. The professionalism, the approach to sport and stuff, I was like, this is not it. I am actually, every day I travel, I see what it is. And every time I come Trinidad, I try to raise the standard in my own way. As I continue back and forth because the people mind can't comprehend it. So I reached a point now. So in that point, JP was an athletic director at Hopkins High School, North Middle School, and he said, but you have an opening by PE department and let's take international people apply. So I applied for the position and I was granted the position. I was selected. But in 2022, it was too short of a time for it to happen. So the lawyers say you might have to try again next year. So I ended up more position open in West Middle School, and I had applied, and I got the position. The lawyers went through with it, and I bring my whole family and my son, here in Minnesota, spent a year at West Middle School, and because of my experience and my resume, stuff like that, they said I need to be at the high school level, and so they brought me up. So I got the position in the high school level to deal with the development side of it, when it comes to the ninth grade freshmen and be the assistant varsity coach when it comes to dynamically understanding how to run offense and create space and the depth of the game, the depth of the craft. I already had it. I didn't have to, so they had respected me highly because that I understood the craft at a very high level, so I could relate to what the language is. And all of us know at Hopkins, we are at Hopkins, my wife teach at Hopkins. So we was like, bro, how can we bring our culture here? We was like, me and JP had one day, I said, bro, everybody, when you look at all the different immigrants in the US here, they bring something to the table. They have the tacos, they have the this, they have the, because here is built on immigrants, everybody here is an immigrant. so, so yeah, so we was like, okay, what we could name this by? So we started to play around with some names. I was like, I have it. I said, if you look at the map of Trinidad and we look at the map of, Minnesota, it could fit up in that space there. It could fit in the space where Togo and all of that is. And so happened, Minneapolis, when you put Minnesota, when we put Minnesota on the Trinidad map, Minneapolis fall directly where I'm from, Sandy Grande. Yeah, Sandy Grande. So we was like, hey, the name is Trinidad. And we will start with Trinidad, and we say, what we could do now? We start playing around with different services and ideas, bouncing ideas off of each other. And we get to the point now, we are influenced by other people how to go about doing different things, especially the trips. So a lot of people want to go to the island, so we are curating trips for people from Minnesota or US who want to go to Trinidad and Tobago, and we're going to host them and do all different stuff for them, put them through the whole 9 yards there. And, and we also, people love our cooking. They love Trinidad food. So Freddie and myself does the cooking for nothing over 100 people. So we also provide our services for them catering to that we could cook different Trinidad cuisines where they will, pay for our services. And then the next side is lifestyle. Because as you can see, if you look through the profile, we are around the NBA, we are around football, we coaching, we live in a different lifestyle, and a lot of people we have that going on. We connected to the basketball side of it, so it's a lot happening, and a lot of progress and ambition behind everything that we do, so that is only part of what I do, Triniapolis, which is huge when it comes to bringing Trinidad culture and exposing Trinidad culture in Minnesota and the US. Well, that's more to come, man.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I like that. So as you say that, let me see if we could bring this home. So as you say, more to come. What is the future hold for you, for, well, I guess the company, for Triniapolis, because it represents all of you in that physical space, right?
Yeah.
What you have, anything you want to plug, anything that coming up soon that you wanted people to know about?
Were the people at Trinidad or the world?
Anybody that watching this?
Um, my ideas book full of them. I have plenty ideas and plenty things that I want to work on and create for the people. It's always about the people. The people trumps everything. I think it starts off with me as an individual becoming more valuable when it comes to how can I become better every day, which is individual growth. It starts with that. I think I as an individual still have a lot of growing to do. I'm maturing, and it takes time to get to that point where I believe I could really master this brain a little better. you know um and also some of the projects I'm working on. I'm working with Troy Hudson, which is an 11-year NBA veteran. We did some podcast work too when it comes to recording. I'm completing my master's in coaching and athletic administration, so I'll be even way more qualified when it comes to the craft, so I could be able to do it professionally if I choose to. But one of the top priorities is still my home country, Trinidad and Tobago. I still think my job there in Trinidad is not finished. I still have a lot more to do, or maybe I was the person selected because by God to try to get into the government brain somehow and teach them and get them to change their views towards sports. So I want to do some projects in Trinidad when it comes to youth development and sport, especially in my community, Toko Sani Grande, where I think it's an area that need attention, that is not getting the attention it need, and have the schools that have the people and stuff. So there's some projects coming up where I won't release here as yet, but we have some stuff coming in Trinidad, curating trips. We'll be in Trinidad back and forth a lot. So it's just to stay tuned and see.
Well, yeah, definitely, and we'll keep in touch. I mean, two things.
For
Well,
sure.
three things. The thing I tell you that we have a name for in the show is the plant pot, right? So
Yeah.
people we realize in speaking with people is like Trinis who go out and succeed and spread their wings, as it will. Are like a mahogany tree, a big tree
Right.
in a plant pot, right? So it's only so far your roots could grow, it's only
Right.
so big you could get, right? But
Yep.
the instant you take them out of that pot and you put them somewhere that they could spread
It
out,
can spread.
that is what happens, right? And then because of that, sometimes it also is hard when you to come back to the environment, because that environment ain't changing. Is for, better or for worse,
Anything is
it's
it
still the
could
same
change.
pot. It's the same pot. So we had to change the pot.
Yeah. And by changing the pot, we had to it's the vision. You see the brain.
Yeah.
You see the brain, the belief, the ability. Not much people have it though. The ability to see beyond 10 years, 15 years, and be patient enough with the process to be consistent and to build something growing up. People were right now because of the high need for dopamine. People were success yesterday. You had to take your time to build it and build a strong foundation. So when you build a strong foundation now, it have a platform for you to scaffold from. But if you don't have no foundation, how you could even start? Everything gonna be falling on all the time. you know?
So yeah, so that was the first thing. The second thing is, this year, because this show is international, right? We have the situation where we do an interview like this, which is virtual, which is usually
Right.
the first interview we do with most of the people because they're not in Trinidad. But we also leave an open invitation for our guests when they're in Trinidad to touch base and do a follow up, do anything you want to talk about, anything
Right.
you want to promote. We trying to keeping my fingers crossed because the last one we did it on location, right? So
Okay.
this studio real cool. I just want to get out. I just want to get out of here. I want
Right.
any excuse to get out of here and do a show, right? So,
Right.
hopefully by the time you have something going on in Trinidad, by the time you're coming back, we could, I don't know, go somewhere, go down to
For sure.
to where the thing started, go Grandy, anywhere you feel comfortable that you want to have a talk, you want to show your
Right.
upbringing, your wherever Hoop Nation start, things like that. Yeah, we definitely on board for that. So officially there's your invitation for your interview, right?
Yeah.
So we wrapping the outer view here now. And the third thing is,
Yeah.
as we continuing talking about the future, you talk about the future with Triniopolis. What going on with Youth Man?
With who?
With Malik.
With Malik.
Yeah, you talked to him and gave me congratulations and everything.
Malik
already.
busy
Yeah,
right now. I
I'm
think
sure. Yeah,
at present right now, he's actually in Milwaukee because he have to do some, I think, is the press conference and stuff
right.
in Milwaukee. So it'll be difficult to get on to him.
Yeah.
But a lot of people now need you trying to get on to Malik,
Oh yeah.
But trust me.
From the time I had the thought, I was like, nah, you need to forget that. He played to be full right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people are trying, which is fine. So he will be busy, and plus it have NBA summer league coming up. So he prepared. He'll be in California and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Playing. Summer league in July, and then from there, and from there's.
Nah, he on a completely different stratosphere right now.
Yeah, is that different? Is that different lifestyle?
Yeah, that is it. He gone. He in orbit right now.
So it and first we wanna say a huge shout out to Roy Joseph scheme San Fernando. That is where he lived, building 5 opposite the basketball court. Roy Joseph scheme, and he had an amazing journey.
Yeah.
His story is amazing. Is very powerful. I'm thankful that God selected me to be the person to help this young man.
Yeah.
So I was just a facilitator of this young man, and for him, sky's the limit. We love each other to death. I love the kid, and also we want to say thank you for Jonathan Weeks and Mario Davis who started the lab in Trinidad and Tobago, and they too's international too. That they was part of the process when it comes into Malik Lewis. Jaime Alonso, who also was the agent who assists during Madrid, Spain and stuff. So there's a lot of people. It's a team effort. There's a group of people working together with Malik, and now that he's on this platform, he now becomes a man, and now it's not only is a business now. It's you actually part of no more than how much thousand, no more than 6,000 people played in the NBA, and now your name is selected top 60 in the world to be part of this maybe number one sporting organization. Yeah, so this is a huge deal. This is powerful for and a story like that, Trinidad and Tobago, the government of Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to say, okay, what are we doing wrong? This question is, what are we doing wrong here that all of our athletes have to leave to be exposed internationally? Why can't we get that done here? Like, so shout out to Malik Lewis, man.
Congratulations to you once again. Yeah, definitely something to look forward to. And I'm sure from now on, especially since from the time this interview will go out, with this success story here, I expecting a lot of people to be knocking on your door after after it revealed that you were at at more or less the beginning of the thing. I think all you should start. I wonder if people ask you if you start scouting already.
I still in awe. A lot of people reach out, but I didn't reply to everybody yet. I still trying to give myself some space, some time. I just don't want to react out of impulse. I want to make sure I make an informed decision, because moving forward, whatever comes out your mouth could affect you.
Yeah.
You have to be very cautious about what you post, what you open to the public, how you express yourself, so it's in a different category now, So it's just that taking it one day at a time, and learning as much as I could.
Right.
So I could pass it on to the next generation.
Yeah. Great. That's the most you could do. You have a very, like I said before, very disciplined, focused outlook, and no doubt having somebody like you, especially at the foundation level in a career that is headed the way it's going for Malik, is definitely going to be something positive for him as an individual, for the place that he comes from, not just Trinidad but San Fernando, is something that people could actually, it's good that people could see and go to Pleasantville Secondary and go to the place that it started, right? And I appreciate that this success is born out of the discipline and the focus and the drive that you clearly have, and that you shared with and sharing with these young people. And I hope that this show reaches the ears, and your suggestions reach the right people with the wherewithal to make things happen and to make the change that we need to see in the world. Yeah. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your quick response, coach. Your flexibility, your openness, your frankness. I appreciate all of it, and we'll be in touch. Any words you want to leave us with, please definitely send us off.
We have to cater to the next generation. The next generation is the future, and it's all about service. So what I could leave the people with is, the question was asked how to be great in this earth. How can we be great and acquire success and peace. And the great book said, find a way to serve the many, for service to many leads to greatness. Because we have to be able to serve. Use our gift, use the gift that God grant us with, and use that gift and serve others. And that's the only how we can get to that place of success. You have to be able to serve. And Trinidad and Tobago is not doing a good job when it comes to service and human development and and developing the human resource. So we have to do better. Yeah,
I appreciate it. That is
for sure.
something that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Like I say, hopefully it reaches the right ears. Someone in your current environment, someone who's seeing the other side of the hard work and the discipline and the drive. Someone who is a living example now. You are not somebody who in a social studies book or a history book. You know what I mean? You live it now and you have the ideas now and the energy now.
Yeah.
We should have the solutions and the answers and the change now as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with everything you say, brother. And hopefully the work that we're doing, the work that you're doing, the work that other people that we talking to, people, Trinis, all around the world, connects and becomes the change that we need to see, because
Yeah.
the country quite frankly deserves it and is in desperate need of that change right now. So
Schools, boy, the schools. And the last thing I could advise the people or the leaders who in charge, who in position to make a change, is focus on the school system. Focus on the schools. Focus on the schools. Focus on the schools. The children have to be in school, and it's our responsibility to educate them and prepare them for the future. You know, to educate them. And if we are not taking care of the children, we will continue to struggle as a nation.
yeah, thank you again.
For
We'll
sure.
talk. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We truly appreciate your contribution to this program.
Yeah.
And yeah, looking forward to your return.
Mhm.
I don't know if it will be a permanent return, but looking forward to your return, and hopefully your suggestions being put into fruition.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, so thank you for being on Inter International. We look forward to linking up with you when you're in Trinidad. And
Yeah.
yeah, give thanks, man. Later.
Yeah, man. Bless. Have a good day.
Yeah. You too. Yes, man. Yes. So this is the lanyard, right? Because we're making up for the 3 weeks that we were off. The past 3 weeks, right? It was 3 consecutive weeks, so we apologize. But I have a nice guest. Is a partner from teenage years, boy, early.
Yeah,
from teenage days. Somebody who I kind of admittedly lose touch with and didn't realize that you bust out. But I'll bring him on screen just now. But just to say, I like how this episode coming together, because I have interviews with 2 coaches, 2 people who I message randomly on Friday. I was like, boy, I need somebody to come on the show. Think you will be able to make it. I'm talking to coaches about sports, and he's like, yeah, and has been very. I must commend him for being very flexible, very understanding, and I guess is a testament to the field that he field. You'll get a joke when I introduce him. Testament to the field that he's in, and the discipline that he's dedicated his life to, which is coaching sports, right? He's a field hockey coach and a partner from a long time, and I was glad to see him, glad to bounce him up last month. Yeah, somewhere around there. And he agreed then to do the show. We just didn't decide on what day to do it. So I'm very grateful and very happy to welcome NKU Davis to Inter International. How you doing, brother?
I did.
Glad to have you. Glad to get this on finally.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So tell me, from what journalist that I knew
Yeah.
as to coach in hockey in the UK. We're going to go through that journey. So we started with the background, as we usually do with the first interview of people on the show, right? The background, where you're from, went to school, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I always tell people that I'm from Rio Claro, but just like I suppose anybody who's an immigrant from a country, I was only born down there. I didn't really live down there for
right, yeah.
that time. And then I guess I spent most of my formative years in Diego Martin. End up in Trinity College.
Right.
And that's where, for better or worse, I fall into hockey. And it was mostly a part-time thing for a long time. But the way things be weird, because we meet, as you were saying it, I was taxing my brain around them art circles, because I was lineman with Jason Jarvis and them artists that we produce out of Trinity and them kind of thing there. Back in the days when it had all them speakeasies and spoken word things. And
wow, yeah. It's a vibe, and it's a vibe. Big up Dennis T, boy. T Allen, yeah.
So, yeah. And then it was really just, hockey was really nothing. I didn't choose until I actually chose it. That might sound weird, but we had a teacher wanted to revive hockey in his school. He come when we was in fourth form, so I never touched a hockey stick until I was like 15 years old. And say, right, we're going to enter the hockey competition. There's a hockey stick. And Thursday afternoons we had a game again, the last period off. And
because
there's a scene. And then, round about, we're a small country. We produce some real greats. One of my good friends still up there in the UK, Quan Brown.
Quan, I know that name.
Yeah, and he's, the assistant coach for the GP teams. Now we working with the ladies, probably work with the men for 10 plus years, age group setups and that kind of thing. But we have other guys up there too, like Dillet Jilks and Albert Marcano. So for a small country, we're not doing bad, and we seem to know a bit about hockey. But after Trinity, the under 21 setup and that training and that kind of thing, I didn't really get seriously into hockey until when I finished my masters and stuff in the UK. I kind of wanted the Euro tour. My first stop was Germany, and it ended up being my first and last stop because I just stay there and play hockey.
Right.
And that's where I get most of my knowledge and my love for the sport. And then coming back home after that, I wanted to do more and more with the sport. A local mentor of mine, which would be Anthony Marcano, was the national team women's coach at the time.
That name is also familiar, yeah.
And he kind of tolerated me for a while. Hold me under his wings, so to speak. And I do a couple of courses. And before long, kind of fall in that Barbados gave me an opportunity to coach the national team. And, the rest is history. Barbados won the first gold medal the country ever win in hockey while I was coaching them. And then I just, because I'm a bit of a nerd and I always like learning. Coaches had to continually learn, so, and the opportunities, because I was always somebody either to make my way somehow, and just present themselves from Barbados, end up in Namibia doing some development and stuff. And that's when it kind of really hit me, because up until then too, I still wasn't taking it seriously. I wasn't saying, well, there's a life style, there's a job. But after Namibia, I was like, well, maybe this could be a job.
Yeah. But speaking of, all right, so let's talk about jobs then, because this wasn't your first. This wasn't the first job. So after Trinity, what did you transition into?
So after Trinity, I went to UE doing a double major in electrical and mechanical engineering.
Okay, yeah.
And that lasted a hot 3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Okay. Why?
Very clear. I wasn't an engineer.
It didn't work. It didn't move.
And so I fall back onto what things that I was doing that was fun and that I was interested in, because that's why it didn't work, right?
Right, okay.
I need to be, and I suppose that's the thing with all creatives, we need to be invested, we need to be motivated, we need to like what we're doing.
Yeah. So you consider yourself a creative more than...
Yeah. So
really?
From the time of Vox and these kind of things and moonlighting at the Express as a paginator, designing the pages for the Vox and falling, being a sub-editor, to actually being the page one editor of the Guardian for a bit.
Nice.
And designing the page ones, and being a part with same big up to Dennis.
Big up to you, boy.
Design of the Guardian to the G size and all that kind of thing.
Right, yeah, all of that.
So that's what the first incarnation of me making money and paying the bills was.
Okay.
And then at a point in time after that, I was just like, well, let me see what else. And I was traveling a bit. And
well, we'll get into the travel, because I always like to ask where people's vocations and the fields have taken them now. But we'll get into that a little later. So I want to talk about, because I want to big up Tay and them and that movement. I'm glad you brought it up. How was that for you? Describe the time that was going on, because this is definitely pre-internet.
Yeah.
The internet existed. Technically, the internet existed, but it was reserved for specific functions. So
maybe that was pre-Facebook. I think that was.
Yeah, well before Facebook. Yeah.
I think Facebook probably wasn't.
Yeah, because that is the 90s you're talking about.
That was ICQ.
Yeah, that was the transition into ICQ and.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Vox was a magically dysfunctional place. That's the only way.
I like that description.
Yeah, we used to get things done. It always used to be a scramble every week. And then every week used to be...
Sounds familiar, right?
Every week used to be the best SU ever. And like I say, like when I was just finishing them things and dealing with, I'm not going to be an engineer, it was a space where, I can make money for illustrating. And it had the real, the OGs, like I remember Nazma Muller was still around.
Wow, yeah.
She wasn't part of it anymore, but she was in and out and they could have a conversation. Kevin Gibbs was a great designer at the time and things. So I just used to bother them men. I just used to sit down behind them men when them men billing pages and things.
Yeah.
And, I had my rudimentary art teaching from Patrick Roberts, who was an ex-big artist and teach a lot of us that come through. And so the leap into the design wasn't really hard for me, and being a little bit techno savvy, whether that's a young age or whether that's just because I techno savvy, I just like pick it up real easy. And so I just kind of evolved in that space, because after laying out the Vox and thing for a little while and thing, they needed a sub editor for the main paper, and like I didn't do no course. I didn't go to school for that before that point in time and thing, and I just as a sub editor, I billing pages in the People's newspapers.
And that is one of the themes that comes up. We have a few similarities with pretty much all the guests. Things in common: the ability or the inclination rather to be open to opportunities. Even when you think you are not ready, you probably are. And people have said, yes to opportunities, and that led to growth and more opportunities, and actually into sometimes out of where they were into the field that they're in now. So that's something that is don't be afraid to say yes and give it a try. I mean, you previously, if you was in UE if you was in UE trying to be an engineer and it didn't work after 3 months, try something else, right?
You had to find something.
You had to find something, yeah.
What was clear was that I wasn't going to be a bum in my mother's house. That's what was clear.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So, okay, so about, because we also question identity on this show, because we talking to people who live abroad and, sometimes have to assert their identity. Something like the Vox at that time was a mechanism for doing that. Deliberate, well, I could ask you, was it deliberate, or people were just voicing their thoughts and their experiences in a fairly novel kind of way?
I think those of us who was a little bit ahead of the rest in finding out who their self was, because at that age, like most of us, we spread out from it had people as young as 16 to people as old as close to 30.
Right, yeah.
And it had people who was sure who they was or know what they was emerging to become, and it had people who was using the space to find themselves. And some people had agendas, like, shining women in a more positive, more front foot light.
Yeah.
And some people were just, we here to have a good time while we doing that. And you could see that all of that was in the Vox. And I mean, it was a space for many conversations. I most famously remember anytime anybody having a conversation about the Vox, I remember one of the things was we deal with ethnicity, like your identity, and everybody was this and the other. And one of the people decided, well, they interview me. And I was like, well, I on the team, they can't interview me. Because we outside on the road getting random interviews. Like, nah, we go ask some of the Vox people, we go make it cool. Yeah, cool. And I was like, well, because I know what my answer was, right? So they asked some people, if they're Chinese, if they're black and thing, and listen to the answer. And I was like, well, I is NKU. And everybody was like, well, not your name, brother. But I say, well, I is NKU. Like, I had Chinese in my family. My grandmother was East Indian. My grandmother Indian. My grandfather Irish. My next grandfather French. Like, why you gonna identify with?
Yeah.
I is me. That is my ethnicity. Like, all right, okay, cool.
which is kind of an answer that you would expect from a young intellectual who exploring themselves and finding their place in the world. But so while this going on, of course you're playing hockey.
Yeah, but at the time too, so like I wasn't really good at hockey when I was younger. I was always smarter than the average bear. Right. And I was just around.
Okay.
And for some reason, I had good friends who was real good. So I was just, there bumping around and thing. And then one day a man said, well, NKU, you're here, you're wild, you're athletic. Put on the goalkeeping pads, now. we don't have a goalkeeper today. And I was just like,
Okay.
And
there you go. Open to opportunity again.
That was it. And then all of a sudden I was a goalkeeper. Since the whole journey through and coaching and stuff now, I don't really goalkeep as much again. Goalkeeping still really close to my heart, and as do a lot more goalkeeping sessions, I'm told by my players, than most other coaches, and that's make them more integral to the training session. So I suppose that's another part of my success.
Right.
Yeah, I still not the most, people have fast hands and these kind of things, but like with sport, technically correct people have an easier way, and we in a country where we teach, I find, sport back to front. We teach individual sports and team sports. So most people are really good individual players.
Okay.
A lot of our players do really well when they go out because they're technically sound on the individual. And when they go out, they get the rest of it from wherever they go. But a lot here don't know team and how my role going to affect the rest of the team and tactically what I'm trying to do. The next thing is a kind of react rather than proact situation. So, which is why I still model myself along and seem to find a way to fight up.
Yeah, that was something I'm interested in because the other interview which you guys would have seen that we had the other day with Jeffrey Harris. He's a basketball coach. Grew up here from Grandy and is now in Minneapolis coaching basketball there. And his style, he said, was quite aggressive in terms of how he coaches, because he and I guess you have less players on the side and they kind of specialized on a basketball team. How is your approach to coaching, and how close is it to your like personality?
So I think my approach to coaching kind of evolved as I went through different mentors and different phases of my depth of understanding in the sport.
Right.
So probably was a bit American at the start. Fitness will solve it. If we fitter than the rest, we just, we work on everything, but fitness is the key.
Yeah.
And then as mentors went through, I realized, wow, basics is a really big thing. And when you train now muscle memory and you're technical, correct, you have much more time and space to view the game because you're not trying to make up for mistakes and these kind of things.
Okay.
And then after a couple of more higher end courses or whatever, now dealing with a little bit higher caliber players, I kind of focus a lot now on personal responsibility and hive mentality and that kind of thing. So it has gone through, I would say, really drastic changes, but in between, I always believe you can't be nobody else.
Right.
So I'm not trying to be nobody else. I just giving you what I can give you from my perspective, which is one of the things where a lot of my coaching friends will tell you as well, because I always nag them, because I believe in cross-coaching. Because one of the interesting things in hockey is I will be teaching you to do something.
Right.
The first way I explain it to you, I understand you and understand it, you not understanding me. So I try to change it, and I'm going to be trying to teach it to you 5, 6, 7 times in different ways.
Different ways, yeah.
And then we'll call...
Instead of louder ways.
Yeah. But different might be louder too, eh?
All right, okay.
No, different might be louder too. Different doors take out louder.
Okay.
Not always louder.
Especially when you reach 5'7".
But it don't take out louder. And then I go call Kwan. Kwan will come and do one session, and he'll say exactly the same thing I've been telling you all the time. All of a sudden, it makes sense.
Right.
Because of the expression he had on his face, or maybe because he was showing it to you while he was talking.
No, that is something that, sorry to cut you, but that is something that Jeffrey was referencing too, because he did his degree in coaching and physical education, all of that, but with an aspect to teaching. So he understood or understands the different ways that exist that people learn.
Yeah.
And that is very critical.
Yeah,
in
all
coaching.
the coaches know it have 3 styles of learners,
right?
This, that, and the other, but it has something very human about it, right? Intonation, body language. Like, I remember something, I can't remember the exact percent, but they say people, when they communicate, only about 20% is what you say.
Is verbal, yeah.
Something like 80% is how you say it. So cross-coaching for me is easy, because if there's anything, people is call it efficient, but I just call it lazy. I'm a real lazy person, and I'm trying to find the easiest way to
get right the first time. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Instead of me trying to tell this person that don't understand it from me 7 times, I go tell it twice and realize I can't get it onto you.
Right,
we do some cross-coaching, and we get 2 other people in, and hopefully by most times that is all.
Yeah. Introduce a different style.
Yeah, rather than me and you banging we head against this wall here for months trying to, well, coach, I don't understand you. Well, I know you don't understand me.
All right. So, what was the transition from player to coaching officially?
Well, I mean, I still playing, so.
Oh, okay.
It's not really a big transition. I think the bigger transition for me was from player to official, because
okay.
More than my playing career, I represented Trinidad as one of the FIH umpires for, I think, maybe 10 plus years.
Nice.
And during that time, I saw myself more as an official than a player. I probably saw myself as an official and not even a player. Because during that time, if I went up on the hockey turf, it's probably to umpire.
To umpire.
So I think the transition for me went from official to coaching.
I see.
Because I was still officiating. Because I am one of them people that have weird ideas. Because
really, NKU?
Yeah.
You?
Because I don't know, the hockey community seems to think that you can't do 2 and 3 things at the same time. And officials and coaching, small enemies.
Right.
But I thought that coaching and learning about coaching made me a better official.
How so?
Because...
Not that I agree with the other thing, but...
Yeah, because when you start to understand the rules and what the coach is trying to achieve, and then you start to understand tactics and patterns at play, as an official on the field in real time, I recognizing it.
You can see it playing
so
out.
I telling myself, well, here's a hot spot. This is where it's probably going on our issues. I need to focus here a little bit more. And honestly, it made me a better official any time when I was doing that top tier officiating and these kind of things.
Okay.
During that time, I got the opportunity to be a national coach. And the continent and Trinidad were trying to make a choice. And
right.
Of course, nobody do force me to do nothing. So I say, no, I wasn't making a choice, and then I suffered the consequences of whatever that was at the point in time. But
you had to take down the chin.
I thought one made me better than the other.
Yeah.
And if you look at my coaching career, then probably it will stand to be true, because immediately the first time as a national coach I went out and win a gold medal. Like, I take Barbados to 2 tournaments and we do silver gold.
That was what year?
That would have been 20. What year was the Olympics in Brazil?
Look who you're asking.
Yeah, boy. So the tournament that we won gold in was the Olympic test event in Rio, which was in December before the Summer Olympics the next year. And then we went to a tournament that year earlier in the summer in Peru, where we came second.
Nice. Okay. So, all right. As a Trini, who congratulations maintaining your accent. How does the Trini identity, the Trini persona, incorporated? Is it incorporated in your coaching, in your style, in anything specifically?
I think so, right? Because I can only be me. And like, you call it me a Trini, right? But Trinis does this one because I don't eat pepper. So Trinis does be like,
Well, yeah, you might get a little heat for that.
I am notoriously on time. So my Trini partners in the UK, there's always be like, Lime starting 3 o'clock. We just tell NKU 4:30, because NKU will reach the Lime at 3 and be like, where everybody was. So, you know, but I think the Pekong, our really just natural humor and these kind of things does help a lot. I think also the ingenuity in being a Trini, like You know, just the things we just do, like the steel pan and thing. Like, I always, you know, all right, we have video today, but the video tower ain't working. Right. I had to find a way to put up the camera, and we go find a way for
We'll find a way,
yeah. Go inside, get a broomstick, chuck it away.
Yeah.
So I think things like that, and coming from a place where it's not that we didn't have, but we didn't have $1,000 to buy a tripod.
Right, okay.
But that don't mean that we're not going to put up the camera.
Okay, yeah.
And coming from experiences like that, so now you're just solving it, and you're solving it on the fly. And people will be like, I wouldn't even think about that. So I think those are the ways that my traininess has come out and help. And I always used to be real annoyed with all my friends from the US and England who lose their accent and them kind of thing. You know, the funniest thing is the 3 years that I live in Barbados was the closest I come to losing my accent.
That's the one.
That's the one, boy. That's the one.
Comble, boy.
Yeah, comble.
That's the one. Well, actually, we had a guest, Aaron Farrick, who is a chef, right? And we were just talking about, you know, favorite foods and that kind of thing, because we did the interview around the time with iShow Speed when he was up and down the place doing the Caribbean tour. And I was like, Bajan macaroni pie is my favorite.
I agree with you there. It's still wet.
Macaroni poi. I like the poi.
Because it's still wet.
Yeah, I like it.
Somewhere however, in between when we was growing up.
Yeah.
Macaroni pie here stopped being wet.
I don't understand. I mean, that's going into the whole commercial aspect of things, and when you go, it had a last and all of that. But yeah, I like that macaroni pie. But what I was going to ask you, boy, yes, another theme that we explore on the show with guests is and you just talk about it with your friends who lose the accent or whatever. Community. How big is your community? I mean, you mentioned other colleagues from Trinidad who are active in the space, and you mentioned leaning on them for the cross coaching. What are some of the other discussions you have? Do you have discussions? Do you interact with coaches and players locally?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that I always try to do, so I have my own company because I'm an independent coach, and so you're an independent contractor. So
okay.
Clubs don't hire you, they contract you, and you are to sort out all your finances and whatever. But hockey has, excuse me, I travel the world. I'm making my living from it now. I made so many friends. I had so many opportunities. And I always somebody that I feel like you have to give back. So I've always offered a number of players from Trinidad and all the other countries that I've gone to. So I have a couple Barbados players come out with me. I coached in Namibia. They've come. Some Ugandans and stuff that have come to the UK.
Yeah.
And worked with me and played in the clubs because of the opportunity. Because one of the things it has hit you when you get to Europe, right? First it hit me as an umpire, but then as a coach, it's sinking even deeper. Our national team will play 4 or 5 top-tier games every 2 years. The level of those games that they will play will be equivalent to the top of the domestic leagues in these European countries. Being outside there make me understand something. So, and it sinking even deeper as a coach, but as an official was the first time that I understood it.
Yeah.
Our domestic leagues play at a level that so low compared to their domestic leagues. It's easier to describe it in terms of our national team compared to their domestic leagues. So our national team will play at a level that not even the top of their domestic league, probably 2 or 3 tiers below. And that is the hockey that is available in their domestic league every weekend.
Wow, okay.
So for 22, 24 games a season, athletes who not even on their national team playing at the level that our national team playing at. And there's 22 games,
right, okay,
one year, where our national team getting 4 games like that every 2 years.
So you could extrapolate that into what your expectations would be for performance when people go out.
Which is why it became so important for me to invite these people out there, because these people, even though they're only getting 4 games at that level every 2 years, imagine how much better a hockey player they would be if you get them that level 22 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
The understanding, the development of their craft, their technical ability, their tactical ability.
Yeah, speed.
The speed of thinking.
Yeah.
It don't change the physical speed, because they're working hard here, and again, they're doing the things they can do. Physical is physical.
All right, understood.
So they're going to be as fit as they could be.
Understood.
But
Right.
then when you're playing that level of hockey over and over again, the speed of thinking and the speed of decision.
Right.
And this is why our athletes, we have plenty
Right.
athletes who have made it out there in the top tier, because they come with all the basics intact, all the fitness intact, all the technical work intact. And what they were missing was the tactical side, the speed of decisions, the ability to understand how physically competitive it is. Because we still down here, and it's not the officials or the officiating fault, because that same equation has happened to our officials. The quality of officiating that we officiating. 2 man on the team good, 4 man on the team not good. If we blow every mistake, the game will be stop-start.
Right.
And so the level of hockey, or the level of sport, any sport that you're officiating at a certain level, they are treated a certain way.
Yeah.
So now these men who outside here in Europe or wherever it have really big leagues,
Yeah.
officiating again every weekend, a level of sport that's so high that it's above the national level in certain parts of the world. So when they get out on the national scene, I remember a big moment for me in my officiating. I went to a tournament and I was umpiring a game with a great umpire, umpire's manager from the Netherlands.
All right.
And he had watched me do 2 games, and all of we was on the social side together. I don't know why they decided to line with me. Maybe it's the Trini.
It's the Trini.
And he said, we're not going to talk about the game at all.
At all, okay.
We're just going to do our pre-game, and we're going to talk about your hockey, where you're seeing your umpiring and thing. And I tell him and whatever. And I was young, and I had a chip on my shoulder. I wasn't going fast enough. I wasn't getting promoted fast enough. And thing.
Okay.
And he said, how truthful you want me to be? I said, I like my thing straightforward. He said, all right. He said, there's no denying that you have some potential and you understand the game. He said, but you are international umpire. And right now in Holland, I know 200 umpires better than you.
Right.
And there will never be an international umpire, because we could only put out 5 or 7 at a time. He was like, you just haven't seen enough hockey, or hockey at the level, to be fast enough to deal with certain situations. And it's not your fault, that's just the fact.
It's not, yeah.
That is just the fact.
Okay.
And we're going to do a game tomorrow, and I need you to understand that, and I need you to keep up. And I put it in my pipe and I smoke it. I was vexed at the time.
Yeah. I could understand why that would
It was, I think, one of the things that turned my head the next way now.
Right.
Because then after that, I started to go to international tournaments by myself. I spending my own money to go, because I want to go and see this hockey.
Yeah.
So I started to travel to the US, to Canada, anywhere I could get hockey that was better than the level domestically that was available. I started to go there to umpire with the better umpires, to get the knowledge, to see the top players. Because now it's something I have to do. I don't have it every weekend at home.
Correct.
So I think I stray real far from the point, but
No. Yeah, I like where you're going.
yeah. But so that is why, given where I reach now in my career and comfortable and doing stuff, I feel it's something I need to do, which is give the opportunity to local people or people who don't have the opportunity where they are at home.
Right. And what is this opportunity? What is the step or the I don't want to say barriers. But what is the gap that you're trying to fill in, and in what way?
So these guys, to answer your question, I will explain what these guys do when they come with me. So these guys, they will come, we at a club, they will train twice a week. In most of the countries that these guys coming from, if the national team not preparing for a tournament, they're not training. The national team might train 6 months, 9 months. Some of them, if they're good, a year for a tournament. And in that time, they will train 3 times a week up to maybe 4 times a week, the closer they get to the tournament and his national team training and whatever. But what I also try to expose these guys to do, because they're up there with me, and most of the time they come up is like vacation. They take 6 months because they really like hockey. It's not a work permit thing, so they're not working or anything. They just come up to play hockey.
Okay.
So they also have a bag load of time on their hands. So I got into doing video analysis and stuff really early.
All right.
So they would come up. I started to get them to tag the video, start to get them to think about what we need to do in training, start to get involved in session planning. And then they also train in 2 or 3 times by themselves. Where we have a turf available, go and work on your technical skills, your aerials, your whatever. So you go in and do an hour by yourself on the turf, working on whatever. So it kind of put it in a professional setting for them. They're just here for hockey, and they're doing everything hockey. And they have lots of responsibility and personal authority about their training and this kind of stuff. And then to trying to keep them honest, because most of the times the club does help and stuff, and trying to get them to start to think about personal responsibility in that way. Because clubs up there is recreation, it's not football.
Okay.
So most hockey clubs not making money, and people spending money to play the sport. So the average person paying 300 to 400 pounds for them to play hockey at a hockey club every year.
I see.
And then this hockey club will turn around and say, Valdez, you're a national player from Trinidad.
Yeah.
NKU tell me, you're all right. We'll pay for your ticket, and we'll get NKU £100 a month to buy food. You go stay by NKU, you come and play for me.
Right.
But it's impressing upon these people that you are now become an ambassador for Trinidad. What you do here now, everything you do at the club,
reflects
how you carry yourself, how you train,
your punctuality,
all these things. It's not just you anymore.
Yeah.
And I will say that not everybody, but some people have come and not dropped the ball, carry, happy I give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
And some people, they just come and you tell yourself, God, boy, we take 3 steps forward and you just take 5 steps backward.
Wet the bed, as they say.
Yeah.
So, continuing from that dynamic, you bringing up players, etc. Has there ever been a situation where, and like an invitational thing, where a side, whether it's a national side or a club, would have played a club that you coaching?
So while I was coaching in Barbados, there was right after there was a practice tournament that Trinidad come and they play the Trinidad national women play the Barbados national women.
Right.
Could have been like maybe 3 months after I left that period to go to another. That's when I had left and gone to Namibia. And then it have tournaments in Barbados all the time. I brought my club team to the Barbados Hockey Festival one year.
Okay.
So the bunch of English blokes, and we come down and had some fun.
What was the results overall?
So it was a festival team. It wasn't really a strong team. But what was amazing about it is we really focused on bringing the juniors.
Okay.
And so we brought 2 14-year-olds and a 16-year-old. And the 2 14-year-olds made the England age group squads within 2 years after that.
Nice.
Because I think, again, for me, that's a big thing about coaching, right? Playing in self-belief. And these 14-year-olds came, and of course we played in Barbados, but also you have Barbados national players and stuff playing there. They knew the guys that I had brought from Barbados to the UK.
Yeah.
But those guys were at the end of, if not after, their international career, just ex-players trying to get into coaching and coming to do some internship stuff. But when they played against like real live, now time national players, and was like, well, by holding this man, and I dribbling this man, I think it sparked something in them, and I think it's just these opportunities that are trying to create
the exposure.
Yeah. You know, you had to put people in situations, right, and then they will do the rest for themselves.
Yeah.
And if you prepare them for those situations, even better. But I think the situation more than anything else is the catalyst.
Okay. So I wanna ask, because you mentioned coaching in different countries and so on. But where has the sport taken you? Like where you play, where you get invited to things, where you go to conferences?
All over.
Yeah.
I mean, from up and down North America, I've been to Argentina, I've been to Brazil twice, I've been to Chile, Uruguay, Canada, LA, and Canada, both coasts, east and west.
Yeah. French and the well, you know, Montreal and
well, you can't
kind of
really
thing.
call Toronto French, but you know, Toronto and Vancouver. I went to Africa after Barbados, so that would be 2018-ish, 2017-ish.
Okay.
I worked with Namibia doing hockey development and stuff, and that was a real great experience. Again, first time I was in Africa as well.
Yeah, congratulations. I ain't get to touch the continent yet, but hopefully one of these days.
You know, I played and did some coaching in Germany. Obviously, in the UK.
In the UK, yeah.
And went to courses in Holland and stuff, and now a part of the Masters. So I actually, in July, I'll be the umpires manager for the Masters World Cup in the Netherlands coming up.
Okay.
So that's still part of my officiating pathway. And as I will be overseeing the umpires in the over 35 and over 40 age groups.
Right.
And 69 teams from all over the world participating. So that, you know.
That sounds like a huge undertaking, man.
The amount of people, the places, and that's why it is really important for me to give back. Because that's like hockey has continued to give so much and so much opportunity and add so much value to life. It would be criminal of me not to try to open these doors for at least one other person.
Right, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you know Warren Gill?
I am notoriously bad with names, so I might know him.
Right. He's a MMA. Well, his whole life more or less has been involved in martial arts. We grew up together. He was a guest on the show. Actually, funny enough, when we watched the episode where he was on yesterday, and it reminded me of something. When the dedication that you put in, right? It must come back, and you must get something from it. But him being involved in martial arts as an outlet for youth, and then for the energy of youth, I should say. And then, you know, taking it in serious and, you know, spreading the roots and finding out the different parts of it, learning other different disciplines. And going through a similar progression as a coach, I watched this yesterday, so I must remember. He was in a tournament and he wasn't happy with the officiating of one of the fights. And one of the officials told him, well, there isn't much you could do. The quality of the officiating, because we don't have a wealth of officials, referees, judges, people on the side, that kind of thing. Sometimes calls slip through the cracks and wherever. Of course, as a coach, seeing a raw deal go down, you wouldn't be pleased with that. And the guy, well, famously challenge him. He say, well, if you don't like that, if you don't like that, try being a referee and see. And he was like, okay. And now he is the head of the referees and officials for MMA for this region.
Right.
From Canada to Argentina. Easy Jack Warner MMA. Right? So look at that. The dedication, it will take you somewhere. And I just real glad to have you fellas on to show rather other people that, listen, there is opportunity once you dedicate yourself. I'm proud of all you. I'm glad to say that I see the growth in you, the growth in the sport, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah. It was something I kind of spurred the moment, but I'm glad that you responded favorably. I'm glad that you was here. Because when I messaged you, it was with the intention, thinking that you were back in the UK. So yeah, I'm glad to see you and glad that we had this talk. So what is the outlook for the next, I guess, 5 years? What you think?
You asked me about plenty. Boys.
All right. What's the immediate outlook in terms of, well, your coaching will continue, officiating will continue. So you have this tournament coming up, and you're going to have that position there. But in terms of the same giving back that you're talking about with Trinidad and interaction and that exposure, any immediate plans?
So while I was back here, I was working with Ayana McLean. She's our top official. She's done Olympics and World Cups representing Trinidad and stuff, trying to help the 2 umpires we have going to the CAC games. So we're just doing some mentorship with them and stuff. I help capture some video and stuff. So I always around to give back, and if I'm home and stuff, the plan is to give back where I can, officiating, coaching, wherever they need me or ask me to help.
Yeah. This is officially like through the Hockey Federation, through the Ministry of Sport, or this is just you?
So this is just
your connection with people
and just a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Hockey Board, and she would be in charge of the officials, and I'm working with her to help. So whether that's officially or socially or however it is, whenever I come home, I write an email. Depending on whatever they have going on at the time, sometimes they might answer me, sometimes they mightn't answer me. It is sometimes out here. But I always keep in contact with like certain members, like the coaches and stuff that I would have trained with when I was training with the team and stuff, and tell them, right, next season I have a space for this one, I have a space for that one. It's probably a little different now because Trinidad's had to get a visa.
The visa,
and that kind of stymied it a little bit. But that's that. I always here to help, and if I or anybody reach out and say, "Hey, boy, little workshop while you're outside there," and hop on Google Meets and let me discuss or something. Sure, once at a time. in terms of officiating, right now, like I say, I still officiate in the domestic league in the UK. Doing some of the top games in the Prem Division. So they didn't put me out of pasture yet. But I really focusing on my umpire support and my umpire development. I don't think it's any small thing that a little boy from Trinidad and Tobago is the umpires manager or the lead umpires manager at the Masters World Cup, the European teams from everywhere, literally 69 teams it have.
Right.
And so hopefully get that chewed out, get a really good review, and then see what it have next. Maybe step into some senior international stuff if the opportunity arises.
Right.
Other than Masters. And in coaching this season, just to bed down the teams, I transitioning. So I leave in one club that I've been for 2 years, and the other club that I was doing last year was just a 1 year gig.
Okay.
So I trying to find a club that is a fit. Sometimes, nothing wrong with the coach and nothing wrong with the club. They just don't fit. So I'm trying to find a club that are kind of aligned with what I want, with what they want, and we agree on how you go get it, so that you don't always had a fight up during contract season with 12 interview.
Oh, okay,
You kind of bed in somewhere,
and it also helps you have, well, I guess progression is not the word, but you could plan.
Sustainability.
Yeah, you could plan for the season. You could plan over seasons. Yeah.
Although last season I was a contract killer, that was the club that I was at one season. They were very specific. The club was in a certain situation. They lost a couple of players. They were in a particular league. They didn't want to get relegated from that league, and they just wanted somebody to maintain the status quo. Whatever we do, we don't want to get relegated, and we're going to rebuild again after the season.
That is like this guy. Was he series, the comedy? Oh gosh, how I forget that. It was the football thing. Trev, what was that series with the coach? Would I bring to England to fail with the football side? Oh gosh, what is the name of that thing? Anyway, if I don't remember, I'll cut this out.
They was just like, we just don't want to get relegated. So the job was just not to get relegated. I don't mind being a contract killer, but then that's a different kind of reputation you had to build, right? You had to become really, really good at something, so that any club in the country that looking to do this thing, we are calling.
Yeah, they call that man,
just looking to bed in at the new club, meet some of their expectations, and see where we go from there. And hopefully I get one or two youths across to open some doors for them to experience and raise their game and go back and help raise the country game.
All right, good. And what is the I know you had mentioned the club or the national program in Uganda.
So I am right now the national development officer for Uganda.
How could you forget, man?
That was
so much going on, eh?
Yeah, that was a wild ride. If you think we just say Caribbean time, and it's the Caribbean, that's how things are. Go to Africa. Like, we were supposed to leave for the tournament on a Tuesday.
Yeah, here Ghana is terrible with time.
The flights just didn't book, and we didn't leave till Thursday. We missed the first game in the tournament. But you're looking at me like that.
Wait, what do you mean?
Nigeria just didn't come to the tournament, and we find out 2 days into the tournament that Nigeria wasn't coming.
Did Nigeria know that the
I don't know. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is that we pack at the hockey facility, all the players, all the coaches, bags, everything ready to go.
Good.
And then the notice come down that ticket didn't buy. So we didn't leave that day.
Okay.
Wednesday, no word. Thursday, quick hustle fast, yeah, we get the tickets. And half of the team fly. So when the first game
Was this because of money or
it's a whole
or because of culture?
Nah, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of money short, but man looking for kickback kind of situation. And, you know, so half of the team was there. Well, you can't play the first game with half of the team. So the next half of the team reached, and then we play the rest of the games. But yes, it was all I can say is it was wild.
Wild. Yeah, that sounds like wildness.
It was the Uganda under 21 girls. The best results they had by a mile. Like the best showings they had against teams like Kenya. The first time they beat Kenya. You know. And I suppose maybe a little bit of the traininess helped them and all these kind of things too, and the do-careness and things people telling me about. But I can't do it. All right, lie down there and dead then. I mean, you can't do it. You wearing your national colors here?
Yeah. You had to make it happen, pull it out.
Yeah. So at the end, I think at the end, they were all happy for the experience.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, after the first game, I thought it was touch and go. Because after the first game, and he's my good friend, and he told me after what he was thinking. By the time I didn't know what he was thinking. So the doctor that traveled with the team, at the first game, 5 of the girls had to go to hospital. Who had short breath, who hyperventilating. And back at the hotel that night, as a coach also, a little retrospective and a little bit of liquid courage as well. So I sit down in the bar by myself. The doc come, he say, "Coach, yeah, what company?" I said, "No, yeah, sure."
Right.
I say, he said, "I wanted to tell you something." He said, "I really admire how you do baby them girls, and it's a long time since they needed that." I said, "Well, doc, I say you don't know how relieved I am to hear this." He said, yeah, nothing wasn't seriously wrong with them. Them were just all right. But, you know, I had it, just in case something happened, I had to do my...
He had to do his job, yeah.
He said if it was me, everybody jump back in the maxi and we come back to the hotel. He said nothing wasn't wrong with them. Them just shocked that you pushed them so hard. Right. Everybody always like, all right. And that's another shock for me because I think in myself, but there's Africa.
Right.
There's where you feel the grimiest of the grimiest come from. But apparently not.
People are people.
Yeah. So, you know, it was a great learning experience for me.
Yeah.
And I guess it was for them because they're still around and they're still and I'm still doing the things. So
yeah. So there's a positive outlook for for the that's national.
Yeah, so I what that role is as a national development officer is I kind of advise and help them with everything from bringing on the officiating to the coaching to directly coaching players and being involved in how programs should look and shaping those type of things.
Okay.
One of the things that's part of our project too is expanding the game nationally, but that's something that we just hamstring about with funds from the government. So.
Okay. Yeah, so what I always had to ask people about this every so often about time management. How you make all these things work together?
People has always asked me that, right? But I just always tell people this, right? It has much more time than people think it is, and certain things don't take as much time as you feel.
As you feel.
So, if I go through my week, Monday, it have video to look at from the weekend. Remember, I tell you I'm lazy, yeah? So, these kind of things just come off as being brilliant, but it's laziness.
Okay.
So, Monday, I go look at the first half of the video. I will tag certain things that we need to look at, and I will tell the players that you all need to start to be up on your analysis. So you all need to tag the second half of the video and tell me what you all think you all could do better.
Tricky Daddian, boy.
So, that's video on Monday. You plan your session. Go through 2 clubs on Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. Go through that process twice. You're planning your game for the weekend. You have to select your teams. You have to... I do pre-sub rotations because it's easier to divert from a plan than be trying to do it all in your head. Because hockey is running substitutions, right? Rolling substitutions. So it's not like football where you send on a man and he had to stay on.
For the
come
majority.
On and come off and come on and come off.
Oh, right. Okay, like basketball.
Yeah, rolling substitutions.
All
so,
right.
You start your starting set when you're resting this one, when you're resting that one. I preset all of that. And send it to the team before Saturday too. So
okay.
Again, people thinking this man is a visionary. No, lazy. I don't have to remember it. I send you your conversation. You know when you're supposed to be going on the field. But that is all part of me explaining now that I have more time to watch the hockey game, which is not a lie.
Yeah.
But that's not why I'm doing it.
I wonder if we should even air this.
Yeah, I don't hide nothing, so only people let them know. But seriously, now it gives me more headspace because you know what time you're going on the pitch and you know where we're going on. Right. But now, if everything honky-dory and we win in the game, what we changing anything for? But now I have headspace because I have a structure. I can change it now if I have to.
Yeah, and you know who coming on and this person,
So I not now trying to build the whole puzzle in my head when something not working. I don't want to tear down the whole puzzle and build it all back at the side
and
of the
then
pitch.
call somebody
when
else.
This one shouting and the umpire making bad calls. I just, this piece not working out. Pull this piece out.
Yeah.
I'll put this piece here.
And it gives you the bandwidth to focus your attention on the actual game.
And individuals too.
And individuals, yeah.
So when that done, as I assign myself time for other projects. So like Masters Hockey coming up, I have time, pockets of time during the week.
Yeah.
I ain't watching no email from nobody from Masters Hockey until it's Masters Hockey pocket.
Right, okay.
And then I open all the emails and I answer all the questions and this one and I solve this problem and I fix the wheel, I set it right and I done that done until the next pocket of time. Yeah. Same thing with you, Uganda and whatever, right? Look at those emails at that point in time.
Nice.
And yeah, so it don't feel, I don't feel like I doing so many things. It does only feel like that, like when these things become, so like last season I tell you, a contract killer and a coach in a club and it was a 6-hour round trip. So 3 hours to go to the club and 3 hours to come back. And that was a bit of when it was a stretch.
Right.
But had that club not been that far, I don't think it would be an issue either. So some things, yes, it was stretchy and people hear, oh God, Uganda, and he doing this thing on Uganda, so yeah, but it's the internet. It's not far, it's right there by my fingertips.
Yeah, no, more or less, what's that? What's the time difference when you're interfacing with them?
Uganda, hour ahead of the UK.
Well, look, easy. Yeah, it's that nice, man. Right, I'm glad to hear your hands full for the near future, the immediate future. I'm glad to see you. I actually thought it would have been next year when you come back. When you come back, you're one of the first people. The first interview is in studio. So yeah. I'm glad we're switching it up. So yeah, man, talking about time management. Yeah, talk about time management. We come to the end of that. I really enjoyed the discussion with you, NKU. I'm glad to see you thriving out there. I always admired your mind, and I'm sure. Well, we're seeing the results of your dedication to. and that is the next thing. You call it the craft as well. The other coach calls basketball the craft, or maybe is the craft of coaching. You know, I didn't ask him now. Ask him now when we have him in person. He's supposed to be coming down.
But everything
later
is
this
your
year.
craft, right? Is your
Fair,
craft. Yeah.
fair. I just thought it was an internal thing when he was saying it. You know, the craft. So yeah, that is something that might come up. Another team we might have to check out. But yeah, thanks for coming, man.
No worries.
Thanks for being thanks for being open. Thanks for being flexible. Thanks for being flexible and lending us your time. So yeah, so that was NKU Davis with us. Oh gosh, Ollie, it's cold in here. We had to start to go on location sometime soon, because I can't take it. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks to our two guests, Jeffrey Harris and NKU Davis. So we have, that is what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks we didn't have shows back to back, and we had two guests. So we have a lanyard for you, and no, we had two other guests to make up because we down as we in World Cup season, we down 4-2, 3-2. We down 3-2. Right? So we score with 2. We have one to equalize next week. Or we will try and get 2 guests next week, so we will be on top. We will be on top. Lord, we are thinking World Cup terms now. But anyway, that is the show for this week. Thanks for sticking with us. Again, apologies. We're working on it. People all over the world, we're trying to get them. They're busy. This, that. You know how the thing does go. So thanks for joining us. This has been Outer National with your boy Valdez Brooks. See you next week, or see you when we see you. Later.